Sync error detected. Oh look, I want to do a replay, so Relic decides to do a patch. Anyway, welcome to a CoH2 Cast. It's gonna be a 1v1 on Langarskaya. Sorry for the sync error detected, but it is how it goes. Relic decided that they just needed to buff the British armored car, so they put out a patch. Of course, there's no British in this game, so really no other changes will corrupt the replay. I can still watch it. There's just this stupid sync error. So we have Serbian Minion Cat, aka Freedom, against 3rd Royal RD8 Force as Soviets, and Minion is playing Wehrmacht. You're gonna be fielding Mechanized Assault, Mobile Defense, Spearhead. I haven't seen Mechanized Assault in a long time, but I'm thinking he's gonna go Mobile Defense. Because he's a boring meta player, and that's what boring meta players do these days, they go Mobile Defense. Anyway, 3rd Royal RD Force goes for either Guards Rifle Combined Arms Tactics, which is not that great in 1v1s. Well, it's not that great, period. Shock Rifle, Lend-Lease. Shock Rifle and Lend-Lease are pretty much my two staples that I would recommend to anyone playing Soviets right now, just because they are so versatile. They're really good at pretty much everything. Looks like we have Pioneer, MG, Grenadier opening, so that's definitely standard, nothing weird. And on the other side, we have a couple of conscripts. Interestingly, not going for any Maxims. Lately, there's been a bit of a Maxim craze, in case you haven't noticed. And it's really annoying to fight, and it's also kind of annoying to play because Maxims aren't really fun to use. But looks like 3rd Force is going to go for a lot of conscripts, which is pretty much usually what I do anyway. Even if Maxims are a little bit better, getting like a couple of conscripts and a couple of Maxims is better than 4 conscripts. But hey, what can you do? So it looks like Minion will go for the nice house. This house on Langarskaya is pretty important. The north side has a bit of a disadvantage because they either go for this house and try to keep it, and in that case, if they keep this house with a unit, they are weaker at their cutoff, so you can go for their cutoff. But if they don't keep this house and they get the house taken by the enemy, they will pretty much lose their fuel point and victory point on the right. So it's a bit of a pickle for the northern player in Langarskaya. It's definitely a little bit easier for the southern player to defend his cutoff. As you can see, these Grenadiers will soon, hopefully, be sent to the cutoff. Minion is going for a Sniper. Sniper really good on Langarskaya, so definitely good. On the left, we have Pioneers capping the fuel point, and some conscripts are not, they are afraid of coming in, thinking there's some kind of powerful enemy units, but there's really nothing, so she's just really wasting time. So the house gets surrounded, and a Molotov gets thrown in. Molotov already teched from the Soviets, so that's pretty interesting. That will render this building pretty much unusable, but the MG will get into this other house. Still, there's a problem of being pretty much surrounded. That was a good play from the Soviet getting the surround off on the building, but really couldn't get the MG out in time before all of his infantry was suppressed pretty much. So we have another conscript squad. I would go for Medic soon because he's starting to take very big losses. On the left side, looks like these Pioneers will lose the engagement against the conscripts, but they will take them down very, very far. To 1 man, actually, they might win the engagement. They will definitely secure the fuel point, so that's pretty good. So the MG gets into position. Actually, was shooting a little bit out of the range. That's a bug I've noticed with the MG42. That is, it actually shoots a little bit out of range when it's in buildings. Bit reminiscent of the Vickers bug that used to be around a little bit while ago. So the conscript actually wins by a sliver of HP and actually killed the Pioneer squad, so that's pretty bad for Minion, which is really not that great. Looks like some Grenadiers will recover some of the lost territory that was capped by these Combat Engineers earlier. As you can see, there's a couple of really low HP squads for the Soviets who did go Shock Rifle Frontline Tactics, so definitely good, playing conservatively. Moving for the standard, better doctrine in every situation. Looks like this conscript squad will likely head into the Fog of War sight range of the MG42, but the MG42 decides to retreat just in time before it could actually suppress the conscripts. So that's kind of unlucky. Combat Engineers will cap the middle. They will be intercepted by these Grenadiers, catching one of the models in negative cover, and the other 2 models will be forced to retreat, but not before they capture the VP. Right now, the map control is in the favor of the Soviets, who have both the fuel points and 2 of the 3 victory points. Unfortunately, for the Soviet, the engagements have been favoring the Wehrmacht. This conscript squad really needs to run away. They might actually be wiped. No, they actually managed to run away in time. Yeah, the engagements have been favoring the Wehrmacht. This sniper has already 7 kills. Some shock troops will be fielded, which is good because he really needs to start turning around the engagements and keep some of the map control that he's got. Because if this keeps up, he will start bleeding very dearly and not be able to keep the map control that he acquired. At the same time, it's also kind of a problem because on Langarskaya, if these shock troops get caught out by the sniper or the MG42, it will be pretty bad time for them because the terrain is a little bit unfavorable to short-range infantry on this map. It's very much long-range favored. So sniper keeps taking nice pot shots at the conscript. Soon it will have a little bit of a juicier target in the shock troops. Shock troops will try to push away this Grenadier squad. They will probably succeed as they get into close range fairly fast, and Lava Grenade, luckily for Minion, he retreated very quickly, so no damage taken there. Combat Engineers being upgraded with a Flamethrower, which is good, using a little bit of the munitions float for a good use. At this time, Third Force could be going for a tier 3, though he's lacking manpower. He almost has the fuel for a T-70. He could get one in a couple minutes if he was fast enough, and it will definitely hurt Minion Cat's ability to come back into the game, because right now he's lacking even phase 1. He doesn't even have the upgrade, which is definitely a mistake to float resources, especially fuel. So sniper up to Ved 1, being covered by the MG from the shock troops, and it's also dealing heavy damage to the shock troops. Shock troops do not be forced to retreat, not before they take a couple of losses. They will probably not go down because they are tough. Actually, no, they might even be going down because of the MG's burst, dealing heavy damage to them. Luckily, it seems like the sniper missed. Hoorah from the conscripts will force back the MG and the sniper. Molotov actually not being cancelled, so that's a mistake, a little bit of a waste of munitions. So at this time, Third Force should really be going for a T-70. As much as the KB Flamethrower, saving up fuel for the KB Flamethrower and later the IS-2 is a tempting thing, you could not really do it when you want to be pushing your early game advantage as Soviets. You want to be going for those T-70s, 1, even possibly 2. So another conscript squad in the middle will be forced back by these Grenadiers. Minion is starting to jump back into the map control game, sending these Pioneers to cap the left. So that's definitely good, because he needed that left fuel point. One conscript squad will be going down, trying to throw in Molotov, so that's definitely a mistake. Never overextend to throw grenades, especially Molotovs. They aren't worth it. So a fuel cache will be going down on the strategic point. That's the cutoff point. It's a good idea to build a cache on the cutoff point in Langarskaya, but again, he doesn't really need the fuel right now because he's floating fuel. He should really be using some of the fuel. And possibly soon, if a pack comes out, the pack will be able to take out the fuel cache pretty easily. Slash Shreks. Also, Shreks will be pretty effective against the cache. Just in case Minion decides to get some Shreks, but I doubt he will. So right now he's floating a little bit of resources, which, I mean, he always does it, so that's okay. There's no even need to flame him, because we all know he does it. So he really should be going for a tier 2 right now, and possibly even a tier 3 as soon as possible. A Panzer IV would really be useful against this opponent, because if a Soviet player by 9 minutes hasn't gotten out a light vehicle of some kind, it really means that he's going for a little bit for some of the heavier vehicles, or maybe for tier 4. Soviet tier 4 is still Soviet tier 4 armor is still weak enough that Panzer IVs will be good against it. And if they are going for a late game, like an IS-2, or maybe spam of M4C Shermans, one quick Panzer IV can really help when the enemy only has like AT guns to protect himself. Which at this point you don't even see AT guns on the field. So really putting some pressure on with your fuel is definitely a priority for both of these players to improve, really. So a big engagement on the left, as you can see. A lot of shock troops and a lot of conscripts are forcing these grenadiers back into a wall. They really should be retreating right now. Well, right now, they really should have been retreating the entire time. Mortar coming in from Minion. I do not know why he got a mortar. I mean, it did get a nice shot, getting a couple of kills and a lot of damage onto the conscripts. But really, we really don't see any support weapons right now coming from the Soviet player, so really a mortar isn't really useful. I do not know why you are getting a 2-2-2. At this point, it's been way past the time of even like light tanks coming on the field, so really a 2-2-2 is very obsolete at this point. A half track would have been a better solution. A half track would have actually been pretty good because when you're being charged by the conscript / shock troop blob, having the ability to reinforce your grenadiers on the spot is really useful. So if you wanted to get an investment for your resources, a half track would have definitely been better. So as you can see, the Soviets did go for an M5 half track, but for the Wehrmacht, a half track right now would be a really good idea as the shock troop goes down from the flamethrower. If for the Wehrmacht the half track would be a pretty good idea, right now for the Soviets it's really not a very good idea. He did have the fuel for 2 T-70s, which is in my opinion what he should have gone for. Again, misuse of their light vehicle early game is really bad right now for both of these players. They could have gotten so many more opportunities. So it looks like he's gonna get his half track and put a combat engineer on it just to take the right side from this MG42. Which, I mean, it's gonna work, but really, a flanking conscript would have been just as good. So he lost his shock troops in that engagement, as you saw earlier. I wasn't commenting because I was commenting on their stupid light vehicle selections. And also he's going for an Su-76, so yeah. Su-76 right now really not needed. Like, you don't see any kind of armor on the field for Germans. Like, it's gonna be needed later on, some kind of anti-armor, but he's got tier 2, so really he could have gotten AT guns instead. 2-2 sitting on the fuel point, which is really not a very good idea. Wait, 1 second. I don't think he can see it, but still. Yeah, no, he cannot see it. Still, it's really sitting there doing nothing, so that's okay. Well, not okay. RD Barrage gonna go down, completely missing the Grenadiers. I mean, getting the Su-76 for the RD ability is a bad idea because it's really unreliable. So, of course, the conscripts will try to get in some Molotovs, but they will be gunned down by the MG42, so really a big waste of the infantry right now. Again, I do not know what is up to the unit preservation of RD Force. He's losing his conscripts left and right. I do not know what he's trying to do. He's going to lose another conscript squad, would most likely. Actually, no, because Minion, for some reason, switches the focus onto these other conscripts. I mean, it's working because he is now going to wipe them, but maybe they're going to run away. No, they're not going to run away. So the pack is shooting at the half-track, doing some pretty good damage and forcing it to retreat. Sniper, in the meantime, is up to 16 kills. Tag gun should be moved up to target the 76. Panzerfaust will be coming in for the Grenadiers if they can manage to close the distance. They will, because the Su-76 goes in a retarded way. So it's going to be damage engine and probably killed by the pack very soon. Completely missing. Scout car 222 will be coming in from the side and taking out the 76 pretty quickly. The scout car from the rear does penetrate the Su-76, even from the front sometimes, so really no problem. The problem of the scout car against the 76 is that the 76 can kill it in 3 shots, so really, normally it shouldn't be able to counter the 76 that way. Shock troops will be fielded on the fielded again, but really at this point there's really nothing the Soviets can do. They lost too many infantry units. He lost like 5 conscript squads to really no reason. He didn't use his light vehicles effectively. If he had gone for 2 T-70s, there would have been nothing Minion Cat could have done, because he himself was not using his early tier units correctly. So a nice shock, stun, whatever round from the sniper, completely wasted on only one guy. the reason you want to be using this fire incendiary round is when there's more than one guy, so you kill 1 or 2 guys and you stun all the others. Don't know why he did that on 1 guy. Another use for this round is that when your sniper fires and then you instantly click on the ability, it like resets the cooldown of the shot, so it fires faster, way faster. So your sniper is up to vet 2, but of course against such a retarded enemy, it's like it's pretty much going to be a given that the OP sniper is going to do a lot of damage. So after 15 minutes, he decides to get a T70 for some reason. I do not know why at this point you would get one. So a Stug free E is going to come from the mechanized assault that he chooses. Perfect English for me. So quad will be upgraded, but very late. Again, I was going to talk about the quad, but he was doing so many mistakes that I didn't have time. The quad could have been a good idea, but he didn't have the munitions for it. And again, when you want to be getting the quad is like from 4 to 6 minutes in the game, not really from 10 minutes on. You really don't want to be getting a quad at that point. So the Stuggy will probably seal the deal with the game, because really only S276s will be available to counter, but really he just lost too much. So Panzerfaust, what the fuck, Panzerfaust. He could have definitely Panzerfausted, done some good damage to the Abstract, and possibly killed it thanks to the snare. So the T70 will luckily for itself run away. Unfortunately for it, the Stug is hot in the chase. 2 Stugs on the field. Reminds me of the meta a couple of months ago, which was all about Stugs. It was really annoying. Then they nerfed it, so now it's really not the king anymore. But still, like, there's really nothing the Soviets can do about it. Soon there's gonna be a Tiger anyway, so probably the surrender is the only option at this point. Pagan will be decrewed by the shock troops. Miraculously, with all these forces, Minion manages to lose his Pagan, which is only a testament to his stupidity. But thankfully for him, he does redeem himself by killing the T70, which is much more important right now. And the fast track is likely going to go down soon. Armored car is able to deal some heavy damage to it, but it will go down to the quad mount. Nice shot from the Stug. Decrews the half track. So it looks like the conscript and the shock troops will be rushing to take the pack and the thing, but an attack round shot from the Stug misses, but the splash damage kills the half track. So shock troops will be able to deal some heavy damage to this Grenadier squad and force them to retreat, but they will be forced to retreat by the Stugs. It's gonna be pretty evil for them. Stug will decrew the Pagan soon enough. Not before the pack likely takes a shot at the Stug, dealing next to no damage, and boom. So the resource float is ginormous, but really, again, no need to use his resources. Smoke grenade going down in the only direction in which a smoke grenade isn't useful. So now they're going to be run over almost by the Stugs, who decide to fire at the combat engineers. So I'm just gonna fast forward. So this was like the worst replay possible to restart casting, but well, it was the worst replay possible in that it's been really boring. So sorry for getting sent this horrible replay. Blame Minion Cat. Fuck you. So Tiger is on the field finally. Took forever. Took forever to get the command points. So finally, also the KD Flamethrower is on the field, and yeah, still no chance. He did actually remember to switch the gun from the Flamethrower, so that's pretty good. But yeah, GG. Well played to Minion Cat. Terribly played to Royal RD Force, and less terribly played to Minion Cat. He could really have played better and won the game in 10 minutes instead of 20 and spared me this disaster. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I didn't. And I hope you learned something. I mean, do everything these players did, and don't do anything these players did, and you will probably win all your matches. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.